Hi, my name is Nicole Miller, and I'm currently a senior at Mandan High School. I was born and raised here in Mandan, North Dakota. I have two parents named Dan and Rita Miller, and they have raised me and my two brothers extremely well. My oldest brother is Dustin, who is 24 years old, lives in Mandan, North Dakota, and has a girlfriend named Allison. My other brother is Eric, who is 22 years old, lives in Fargo, North Dakota, and has a girlfriend named Sarah. Three things that define me as me are my smile, my family, and being accident prone. I've always been an outgoing person. I love allowing people to feel welcome. I always say hi to people, whether I know them or not, and even if that hi is just a simple smile. I got the opportunity to mentor an elementary student at my old elementary school last year. As I was walking down the hallways, I noticed a former teacher of mine, and I smiled towards her. At first, she didn't recognize me until I had smiled. She stopped immediately and turned to me and said, "I remember that smile. You're Nicole Miller, right?" I was completely and utterly shocked. I didn't think my smile had any influence on anything, but now to realize that it was the way that someone remembered me was amazing. I don't know about you, but I think that is extremely awesome and a wonderful trait to have. Along with having a memorable smile, I have an amazing family. They're a huge part of my life, and they mean the world to me. They always have my back, no matter what. We could be fighting and arguing one minute, and the next we could be laughing and joking with each other. Some of the best memories I've had with my family is camping, traveling, and some good old-fashioned bison tailgating. My family has had a major influence on the person that I am. Having two older brothers allows me to know what to and what not to do in certain situations. And I get daily advice from my family to help shape me into a better person. But there's one thing that my family can't really help me with, and that's me being accident prone. If you looked up the word accident prone in the dictionary, my picture would be underneath it. Ever since I was a little kid, I was continuously getting injured. I can barely walk some days without injuring myself. I have broken bones, sprained my ankles probably 5 times. I've met with pavement, cracked my head open twice. I fell off a horse and landed on my back and completely knocked the wind out of me, and I flipped a 4-wheeler. These are just some of more of my major injuries that I've had. My most extreme injury was when I flipped my 4-wheeler. I had no helmet on, jeans, shorts, and I was wearing flip-flops. Some pretty good safety gear, right? My cousin was driving the 4-wheeler, and we were on some nice muddy trails from a fresh rain. We were coming around a tight corner, and all you heard was the tires on the 4-wheeler start to skid, and we hit a tree stump. The 4-wheeler jerked up into the air and came down hard onto the ground. I hit the wet ground and had to wiggle my leg free from the side of the 4-wheeler. Once me and my cousin were both up, she looked at me and asked if I was okay. I nodded in agreement and said I was fine, but I felt something warm and wet on my leg. I assumed it was just muddy water, but being the curious person I am, I looked down. To my amazement, I wasn't looking at muddy water. I was looking at deep red blood coming out of my ankle, and white. I didn't know if I had broke it or not until I stepped down. As I started to walk, I realized that I had no major fractures or breaks to it, but by the slice going across my ankle, I knew it wasn't a simple paper cut. I ended up having to go to the emergency room and get 10 stitches and hobble on one leg for 2 weeks. Having a memorable smile, an amazing family, and being accident prone is what makes me me. I wouldn't want any other 3 things to define me because they are unique to just me.